hearing, the committee will take a 15-minute recess at 1:30 p.m. to provide witnesses.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this important hearing.
So when you're looking at the African American community and the minority community in general as a demographic group, there are two elements that make it much more difficult for them and why they're suffering disproportionately. One is the risk of infection. Because of economic and other considerations, the jobs that the majority of them would find themselves in does not allow them to protect themselves by looking into a computer and doing telework. Most of them are essential on outside, having to mingle in a society in which the virus is circulating. So right at the get-go, they have a greater risk of getting infected. And then we know from a lot of experience now that the situation regarding whether or not you have serious consequences, hospitalizations, intubation, complications, and death relate very strongly to the prevalence and incidence of underlying comorbid conditions, which are clearly disproportionately more expressed in the African American population than in the rest of the population. And that particularly includes hypertension, diabetes, obesity, chronic lung disease, and kidney disease. So unfortunately, we have a situation where it's sort of a double whammy of a negative capability of them to respond through no fault of their own because of underlying conditions and the conditions in which they find themselves with.
Subcommittee held an informative hearing on the racial and ethnic.
Well, I mean, obviously, the African American community has suffered from racism for a very, very long period of time. And I cannot imagine that that has not contributed to the conditions that they find themselves in economically and otherwise. So the answer, Congressman, is yes.
To a person who's sick. So we have partnered with BARDA and HHS as well.
On outside, having to mingle in a society in which the virus is circulating.